Aloha, everyone. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I am really excited to be sharing this information with you today and help you in your journey to release what no longer serves you, to restore your system in mind, body, and spirit, and to revive for the new year. So, we have got some exciting information to share with you in terms of little things that you can do right now that are going to put you on the path to greater health. And my interest in what we are about to share really stems from many years of being passionate about my own health and wellness and helping others. So I'm a certified yoga therapist and health coach. I've done a lot of work in the military and veteran community because I am an Army veteran myself. My husband is also a career retired Army Special Forces officer. And a lot of our journey has been supporting our fellow warrior community. So today I'm going to share not only perspective from that lens and what I've learned in researching the products that we're going to share, but also really my personal journey with detoxing my system and living my best life. And honestly, I feel better now than I have felt in many, many years. And it's thanks in large part to the products that we're going to share. Without further ado, I am excited to introduce my very special guest, Jennifer Alice Murray, who is a wonderful vegan chef. She is also the co-author of 3 books that you're going to want to get your hands on. One is the 30-Minute Vegan. Another one is the Idiot's Guide to Eating Raw. And she also has an Asian-inspired cookbook that is part of that 30-Minute Vegan series. So go check those out. They can be very useful in taking some positive steps in improving your health and nutrition. So Jennifer, I'm going to hand it over to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Aloha. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, I'm excited for this call because we're actually going to talk about a few products that we don't always give their due credit to. And in our business with LifeVantage, we focus mostly around our flagship product, Protandim Nrf2, and there is really good reason for that. If you don't know or haven't heard of Nrf2, it's in the field of epigenetics. It's a nutrigenomic product. So these are big words and not words that everybody's familiar with. We spend a lot of time educating people that, we all know what DNA is, but DNA is basically a library. It's a library of codes. It's a storehouse of information, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually have a function. What does all of the work and all of the heavy lifting is all of the stuff around the DNA, and that's called epigenetics. And when we power up our bodies with Nrf2, as we do with Protandim, we are giving our body a really special gift to really unlock the power of our genetic makeup, to ignite survival genes, to have like a very unique effect on the human body, where we basically blew open this whole field of Nrf2, our company specifically. And Washington State University has a study. We have actually over 24 peer-reviewed studies on our Nrf2 product. But Washington State University calls it potentially the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine. So there's a pretty good reason why we focus on that product. And what it does is it lowers your oxidative stress, or the cellular stress that your body is under due to all of its waste management processes, by 40% in just 30 days. So with that as a base for the rest of our products, we're off to a pretty good start. So fast forward past some other very amazing products, our company decides to put out an energy drink. And when word was sort of whispering around that an energy drink would be launched at the next convention, I was kind of bummed. Like I felt like we had the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine. Why are we messing with energy drinks? But in true LifeVantage fashion, it did not take long for me to realize that this was also quite a gift to humanity. And that's, I know, as well as Susan and a lot of other people on this call, that's how we like to spend our time, being a gift to humanity, not just, you know, going around slinging supplements. So this energy drink called Axio turns out to be what is called a nootropic. So another big word. Nootropics are basically responsible for enhancing all of the executive functions of our brain. So our memory, our creativity, our motivation, and then also what nootropics do is they protect the brain. And so by their very nature, a nootropic cannot be toxic in any way. So this is an energy drink that is very much non-toxic. It is protecting your brain. We call it brain food juice here in our community. And it's doing all this while providing you with cellular energy. And there are even people, I'm looking at you, Cassie, in our team that focus on Axio a lot, because not only does it give you energy, but it actually helps you to restore, as we're focusing on in this call, to it helps with your nerve conductivity. It helps you to feel relaxed. It's like this relaxed form of energy, whereas coffee and other stimulants have a very different effect, right? There's a mountain of energy, and then you crash down the other side. But through a very unique combination of ingredients, the synergy of them together, even in the caffeinated, so we have, I believe, 5 caffeinated flavors and 3 uncaffeinated. But even in the caffeinated flavors, where we're looking at less than 50 milligrams of caffeine, which is actually quite manageable, they bond together to give you a sustained energy and focus and concentration and mental clarity. And I can speak for myself, at least, by saying that it shocked me by providing this. I'm someone who practices yoga, right? And so when you practice yoga, one of the first things you learn is you have this like monkey mind, right? You're trying to just be on one little mat doing one little exercise, but your mind is all over the place. What am I going to wear later? Who do I need to call? Am I going to be late? You know, it's a monkey mind inside of our heads. And what I noticed by drinking Axio before I went to yoga is I was just there on my mat. And after years and years of practicing yoga, in just about 2 months, I saw my practice like very much advance well beyond what I had ever achieved. And I know I owe it all to Axio. So it has that effect on our brain of just being able to focus and concentrate. And what's interesting and definitely sets it apart from every other energy drink that I've ever heard of is that it also has a cumulative effect. So it has all these temporary effects. You drink it and within 20-30 minutes you're feeling energy, you're feeling focus and concentration, you're feeling a sense of peace, maybe your mood elevates a bit, but you also have a cumulative effect if it's used consistently over time, where you have this brain protection. And I don't know about you, but I spent like 45 years of my life like not really thinking about my brain, thinking with my brain, but not ever really thinking, should I take any steps to protect it, to make sure it lasts another 45 years and then maybe even another 45, who knows? But through some doctors and neurologists on our team who've done the research, they can see through brain mapping that it actually does have a neuroprotective effect and an effect on our nerve conductivity in our brain. Who knew? So another really great product by LifeVantage. I'm sure I'm leaving some things out, but we have a lot of information that we can send to people about that. But there's another product that I want to talk about, and this one in particular, I think a lot of people have a lot of doubts about. It's called Fat Burn. And this time of year, as people are wanting more than ever to lose weight after a couple rough years here of an increase in our sitting around and our Netflix activity. People have this, desire to shed some of this weight. And when we hear, I don't know about you, but when I hear about products that claim to be a fat burner, my immediate thought is toxic, like dangerous, gimmicky, ineffective, right? So, like I said, we love our science here at LifeVantage. We're always into proof and evidence and making sure that we're putting out the best products. Well, let me just start at the beginning. What fat burn is targeting is the fat that builds up around our bellies or around the middle, which does actually extend to the hips. So fat around the middle is the most dangerous kind of fat, and it's the most stubborn kind of fat, to the point where when we diet and even fast and go into like starvation modes, or when we exercise profusely to lose weight, that fat around our belly will actually stick around and our body will start burning into our lean body mass. So kind of, for those of us who don't love to exercise all the time, almost a little bit of good news, like over exercising can actually damage and not lead to the fat loss that you're looking for. But in addition to that, having fat that accumulates around the middle is actually a sign that you also have a lot of fat piling up in your bloodstream. So when they take your blood sample, if they were to spin it to pull the fat out, you could have as much as 50% of your blood is excess fatty acids that have not landed and stored anywhere. Your heart hates that. Like, your heart loathes, like how much harder that makes the work of your heart and everything involved in circulation is massive, and is no like mystery why we have so much heart problems in our country. So through this synergy of ingredients that we use, which is green coffee, which actually it doesn't really register much in the caffeine scale, and Sinatrol, which is a patented product that we use that has Mediterranean citrus in it. What those do together is they actually protect your lean body mass, and they burn those fatty acids floating around in your blood and in your middle, and they use that as the energy. So you're not taking this product that's full of caffeine and stimulating you to the point where you don't want to eat food, or you're, not snacking, or you're totally like, getting way too amped up. It's turning your own stored fat and fat floating in your bloodstream into the energy that you need to get yourself to lose the weight that you're looking to lose. And it's proven, the Sinatrol ingredient, the patented ingredient, proven in a peer-reviewed study to decrease your waist, your hip, and your abdomen more than 250%. I believe this was a 2-month study. 250%, all of them over 250%. But to decrease the fat floating around in your bloodstream by 964%. So that is a little bit significant. It also has B vitamins, including folic acid and B12, which are great for vegans who aren't getting a lot of those things from meat. And then it also has B6, which is really important for metabolizing protein, which is something a lot of people lean on when they are trying to lose weight, right? So you're upping the protein to feel that level of satisfaction so that you don't eat so much. So this is really good to have some more B6 in there metabolizing all that extra proteins for you. But in addition to that, and then I'll turn it over to you, Susan, the more peer-reviewed studies shows that with these flavonoids and the Sinatrol and the green tea, etc., this product will actually reduce your oxidative stress by an additional 14%. and your C-reactive protein. So if you don't know what that is, it's because you probably don't need to know. And that's a good thing. If you do know what C-reactive protein is, you'll be happy to know you could decrease it by 23%. So way, way, way far from being a toxic product or a scary product or a weird or gimmicky product. The LifeVantage Fat Burn is actually very much a benefit to your health, and something that I can speak for myself, I definitely need a little more of. And doing my extra research, you know, I'm the kind of person who I hear a bunch of stuff about how something is good and my brain goes, okay, it's really good, I want to take it. But as the years go by, I sort of forget why. So it was really good to kind of get in there and remember how good this product actually is. And of course, at this time of year, when a lot of us are focused on releasing and restoring and reviving, right? Creating a better vibe in our body with our healthier nerve conductivity, our healthy ways of increasing our energy and using our own body fat as our energy and decreasing our waist and our hips and our abdomen and our blood fat. Yay! So Susan, I know you're going to also talk about a few other things that people can do during this season of releasing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to just add a little bit more information to this conversation. And actually, I'm going to start with when we talk about detox, because that's a word that everybody kind of tosses out there. And there are lots of ways to detox, and you really have to kind of listen to your own body and see what works for you. But I think the big question is, when we're talking detox or releasing any toxins from our body or mind and spirit, by the way, it's not just what's going on in our body, but it's what's going on up here too, that creates reactions in our body. So do you need to detox? Well, if you've been on medication, if you've got a lot of stress, if you worked with a lot of toxic chemicals or pesticides, you've consumed a lot of fast food. This time of year, I'd say, did you consume too much alcohol, particularly over the holidays? These are all reasons you might want to look at detoxing, and you can really activate that during our Release, Revive, Restore. And so some indications that you may want to detox are you've got low energy, you're not sleeping well, you're kind of feeling moody, maybe you have low sex drive, you're not feeling like the resilient human being you normally are, so you're not managing stress very well, or you've got headaches or skin rashes, any kind of aches and pains or just inflammation, or chronic health conditions. So if you resonate with any of those, I would say, yes, let's take a look at detoxing and what you can do to support your detoxification of your body, as well as restoring, replenishing. So when we talk about releasing what no longer serves us, we can do that through a good cry, a good sweat, and regular poops. Those of you who've been to any of my classes before, you know I talk a lot about poop. Really important. What we're taking in, we need to make sure we're eliminating it. So this is a great time of year to look at what you need to eliminate in your life in terms of not only food, but maybe toxic relationships or things that you're surrounding yourself with, right? The energy that you surround yourself with has an impact on your body and your mind and your spirit. So a couple other products that many of you are already familiar with, and whether you're taking it Probiotics through LifeVantage or another source, probiotics are really important. I think most people are familiar with probiotics in terms of how they restore your system, restore your microbiome, support your digestive health. But prebiotics are also important. And I think many of us aren't taking in enough prebiotic food. And so we have products that can support that as well. If you think of the probiotics, I always liken them to the probiotics are like the seeds that you're going to plant in your garden, and the prebiotics are like the fertilizer. So our prebiotics come it's in a drink form. You can mix it with that Axio that Jennifer was talking about. So it makes it great for anybody, any age to take. and they work synergistically with the probiotics. But what I really want to touch on in this call in terms of we're talking detox is how our Protandim Nrf2 supports, and also our Axio, supports the detoxification and specifically in raising our glutathione. So, so when we look at Protandim Nrf2, Jam gave you a great introduction to it in terms of how it reduces oxidative stress, and it supports, along with the Axio, it supports the neurotransmitters and our brain function. If you joined us on the immune health call, you know that it's powerful in terms of boosting your immune system. It's also going to help you metabolize your food better. So I hope that all of us are looking at, how we can nutritionally support ourselves better. And just know that Protandim Nrf2 is going to help your body assimilate those nutrients better. And then when we're talking detox, we're talking about releasing what no longer serves us. The glutathione is a big part of that because it facilitates this process that is known as your phase 1 and 2 liver detoxification. Now, this may be a very new information for most people, but if you think about your liver, right, your liver is the largest internal organ in your body. It's the largest internal organ, and it is primarily responsible for detoxification. Now, anybody know what's the largest detoxification organ throughout your whole body? Anybody want to guess? Type that in the chat, maybe. Kidney. Well, kidney is a big detoxification organ. The epidermis, yes, your skin. So we often don't think of our skin as a detox organ, but it really is, right? So that getting that good sweat on is really important. Now, when we talk about phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, we're talking about the process of taking toxins, some of which may have lived in the cells in your body for a long, long time, and moving from phase 1 to phase 2, from a fat-soluble toxin to a water-soluble toxin. So if you are holding on to unwanted weight, or you're just not feeling well, you can't get rid of some kind of toxic health condition, it may be because your body is really holding on to those toxins and not really moving through this phase 1, phase 2 detoxification process, a lot of which occurs in the evening. So if you're having not very restful sleep, this may be one of the reasons. But I want you to kind of look at this chart and see, not only is glutathione play a big, big role as your master antioxidant in your body, but so do all these B vitamins, as well as magnesium and all of these other things. So these B vitamins are part of Axio that Jennifer mentioned, and the Nrf2 is going to activate that glutathione. So these are products, the Axio and the Protandim Nrf2 are really powerful in terms of our detoxification. So here's the way I want you to visualize. I'm a very visual person, so I'm always trying to give a metaphor of what is this phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. So if you think, I love this little guy, scooping some water out of the river, right? When you scoop that water up and you've got this kind of yucky looking cup of water, right? And if you see like what's happening, okay, maybe when you first scoop up the water, there's like some leaves and some sticks and all that, and you can filter that out, right? That's kind of that phase 1 detoxification, right? But what's going to happen is you're not going to just be able to filter out all that heavy sediment that sinks to the bottom, right? There has to be something else that occurs. You're probably not going to drink that river water until you take another step to filter it, right? To purify it. So you can think about that's what your liver is doing. So if you, and again, when we talk about cumulative, it's not just what we ate or drank or did over the holidays. We have to think about what we've consumed throughout our life, right? I've served in the military. I've been exposed to lots and lots of toxins that have affected my cells. So how do we release those toxins? Well, Protandim Nrf2 is one of the things that's going to release those toxins and help to detoxify on a really deep level, that phase 1, phase 2 detoxification, because it's activating our glutathione. So just a little visual about that. And you can research this for yourself. So there is lots and lots of research. These are just some of the organizations that have done research on our Protandim Nrf2, our flagship product. You can go to pubmed.gov and literally type in Nrf2 activation and glutathione, or you could type in Protandim and some health condition you may be dealing with. But check it out, Nrf2 activation, or maybe even link in glutathione. So glutathione is something that is really worth your time to understanding a little bit more if you're really interested in how do I detox on this deep cellular level. So just as a little recap here, these are all the products we kind of touched on here. So when we again talk about nutrigenomics and epigenetics, we're talking about activating at the cellular level. We're talking about giving ourselves new information to live our healthiest, best life. So fat burn, the Axio, which again is a beverage, and the Protandim Nrf2. So the prebiotic is also a beverage, and then our probiotics are in little capsules. So you can learn more about all these products. We just wanted to give you a little bit of information to show you what's there to support you in your journey to living healthier over the long term.